Okay, can we start the class? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So yesterday, what did we learn? Yesterday we saw what is al-Madi, how to conjugate Madi, and then we saw how to conjugate al-Mudari. Then we learned about al-Af'al al-Khamsa, what are they? And then, what did we learn? Yeah, we learned 2 more indicators of noun. So totally you have 5 indicators of al-Ism. Can you repeat what are they? Al-Tanween, Jar, Al-Isnad and Nida. Ibn Malik rahmatullah alayhi, very simply he put it this thing in 2 couplets. He said, Bil Jarri wa Tanweeni wa Nida wa Al wa bi Isnadin lil Ismi Tam'izun Hasal. So he gathered all the 5 indicators of noun. Okay. What are al-Af'al al-Khamsa? First one, Yaf'alani, Yaf'aluna, Taf'alani, Taf'aluna, Taf'alina. That's it. Yaf'alani, Yaf'aluna, Taf'alani, Taf'aluna, Taf'alina. So you have Taf'alani 3 times. So if you omit the repetition and you consider the 1, then the whole thing will become 5. Else it is 7. Else it is 7. Anyhow, what are these al-Af'al al-Khamsa? These af'al have at the end extra noon. Extra noon. Okay. So this is al-Af'al al-Khamsa. Hope you remember, I have mentioned 3 types of fi'l. I said al-Madi, al-Mudari. What is the third one? Al-Amr. So we have seen what is Madi and we have seen what is al-Mudari. Now let's see al-Amr. First of all, please remember, this is fi'lul amri. Very common mistake done by people. They say al-fi'lu, al-amru. Keep this in mind, this is fi'lul amri. This is in mudaf ilay pattern. Al-fi'lul madi, al-fi'lul mudari. But this is fi'lul amri. Don't say al-fi'l, al-amr. Won't come. This is mudaf and this is mudafun ilay pattern. Okay, this is first one. Number 2. What's the meaning of amr? Amr meaning to order something. Commanding. You are interrogating, asking somebody to do something. So to whom you will ask? You have ghaib, you have mukhatab, you have mutakallim. In these 3, to whom you will ask, to whom you will order? Al-mukhatab, because you can't order somebody who is not here. Al-ghaib, you can't order. And you can't order yourself. So only thing al-mukhatab. So for amr, you need to know that this can be extracted from mudari and that too from al-mukhatab. So to conjugate al-fi'l al-amr, you should know mukhatab conjugation. What are the mukhatab things? Taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'alna. Okay. So now, how to construct fi'l al-amr? First of all, you take fi'l al-mudari, remove alamatul mudara'a. Alamatul, in this fi'l, which is alamatul mudara'a? Alamatul, don't say mudari'. Alamatul mudara'a. Ta is alamatul mudara'a. So you remove ta. And put jazm at the end. Put sukoon at the end. So now, how to pronounce this? You can't pronounce. Because anything which starts with sukoon, you can't pronounce. You need to have kasra fatha dhamma at least to pronounce it. So here you have sukoon, you can't pronounce. So now, what you have to do? Grammarian says, you bring Hamzatul Wasl here. You know Hamzatul Wasl. You have two types of Hamzas in Arabic language. One is Hamzatul Qata'. Another one is Hamzatul Wasl. Qata' Wasl. Hamzatul Qata' can be represented like this. Hamzatul Wasl is like this. This is, in other words, you can say alif. You can say alif also. This has by default sukoon over here. This alif by default has sukoon. So if you start with this, you will pronounce it. And when this comes in between of the sentence, you omit it. That you will learn in Nahu. For example, ismun. Okay. If I put waw here, how to pronounce? Yeah, remove the. You write this, but you won't pronounce. You say wasmun. Wasmun. Asking ma ismuka is wrong. What should you say? Masmuka. Because that is Hamzatul Wasl. You can't pronounce it when it comes in between of a sentence. So here it is wasmun. So this is Hamzatul Wasl. So what you do, you bring Hamzatul Wasl here, okay, in order to pronounce fa. Now, what harakat you will give here? This is Hamzatul Wasl. What harakat you will give? You have three. You have dhamma, you have fatha, you have kasra. And the rule says, in this case, you check for Ainul Kalima. You check for Ainul Kalima. What is Ainul Kalima? Ain here. If it has fatha or kasra, if it has fatha or kasra, give kasra. If it is having dhamma, then give dhamma. For example, you have like this. What do you do? You put Hamzatul Wasl here and you put, because Ain Kalima is having dhamma. If Ain Kalima is having fatha or kasra, give kasra. So now it becomes if'al, do, ijlis, sit, idrib, hit, uqtul, kill, uktub, write. All these are fi'lul amr. Here, you again remove ta. Again you put alif. And you put kasra here. And when you give sukoon at the end, this noon will go off. Now it reminds if ala, ijlisa, idriba, uktuba, isma'a. This noon will go off. Again here, remove alamatul mudara'a. Put alif. What if you have something over fa? For example, assume that after removing alamatul mudara'a, you are seeing fa is having some harakah. In that case, no need to put alif. You just pronounce the remaining part. You introduce alif because you can't pronounce fa here. So you force to bring alif. If at all fa is having any haraka, in that case no need to put alif. Keep this in your mind. So now this is if lu, again noon will go off. But this alif is very important. If'al, if'ala, if'alu. Then you remove the, and then you remove noon. So its remaining is if'ali. You remove the, Remove noon. If'ala. And here, you remove ta, but you can't remove noon because this is fa'il. How can you remove? Here, this is fa'il. This is fa'il. Anta, dhamir mustatir fa'il. Ya fa'il. Alif fa'il. Noon fa'il. You can't remove fa'il. So this will remain as it is. If'alna. If'alna. Ijlis, ijlisa, ijlisu. Ijlisi, ijlisa, ijlisna. Isma, isma'a, isma'u. Isma'i, isma'a, isma'na. Uktub, uktuba, uktubu. Uktubi, uktuba, uktubna. So this is how you conjugate fi'lul amr. Okay? Just write, for example, conjugate ضرب يضرب fi'l amr from ضرب يضرب. Try doing this. You did? Tell. يضربنا. Haja finished? What did you write? You man? يضربنا. ديان. يضربي. يضربا. يضرب. يضربنا. Okay, right. Now this is fi'l amr. Now you are done with fi'l amr. Now we have seen al-madi, al-mudari' and fi'l amr. And then we have seen al-abwab al-sitta. Al-abwab al-sitta. Huh? What are they? Fa'ala, yaf'alu, fa'ala, yaf'ilu, fa'ala, yaf'ulu, fa'ila, yaf'alu, fa'ila, yaf'ilu, fa'ula, yaf'ulu. These are 6 combinations which are used in Arabic language. See, all of them are related with which harf? Ainul kalima. The whole bab because of Ainul kalima. Because Ainul kalima will take all the 3. So Ain is very important in fa'ala. Now, as we have seen fi'l amr, let's see other varieties also. We have something called as al-nawasib. What are they? What are they? Al-nawasib. What are they? These nawasibs are? They are an, lan, izan, kai. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are hurufs. These hurufs will come before al-fi'l al-mudari'. Or in other words, you can say al-fi'l al-mudari' will take these 4 hurufs. And these 4 hurufs, by nature, they will give nasb. They will give nasb. What's the meaning of nasb? As you have learned in grammar, nahu, you have something called as al-rafi', al-nasb, al-jar, and you have al-jazm. These 4 are al-i'rab. These 4 are called as al-i'rab. Al-raf'u, wal-nasbu, wal-jarru, wal-jazmu. These 4 things are called as al-i'rab. Identifying which word is marfu', which word is mansub, which one is majroor, and which one is majzoom is something which decides the meaning. Something which decides the meaning. So in a given sentence, you should have marfu', mansub, and majroor and majzoom. So these are called as al-i'rab. To know what's the purpose of knowing i'rab, these things is actually which decides the meaning. Okay, these things you will learn in Nahu. Okay. Now what I am trying to say is, these four huruf will come before fi'l al-mudari' and they will give nasab to fi'l al-mudari'. How? Let's see. For example, I am taking an. Okay. And I am putting fi'l al-mudari'. Actually it was lu, isn't it? Because of this an, now you give it nasab here. You say yaf'ala. Because of this an. Meaning of this an is that. Meaning of this an is that. For usage, you go and check your Nahu textbooks. You can find it. Because we are not learning here Nahu. We are just seeing the varieties of fi'l. Okay. This has meaning and this has usage also. You can't use wherever you want. This is called an al-masdariyah. This is called an al-masdariyah. Whatever fi'l mudari comes after it, this will convert the whole thing to masdar. Whole thing to masdar. For example, this is equal to fi'luhu. This an makes this fi'l mudari into masdar. Now the question comes, what is masdar? That we will see later, inshallah. Right now what you do, you just keep in your mind these four letters or hurufs come before al-fi'l al-mudari' and give nasab to fi'l al-mudari'. Give nasab to fi'l al-mudari'. Each and every letter has its own meaning and gives the meaning of that. Lan used to negate in past tense, in future tense. Something you say that I won't do, you say lan. Lan af'ala, that means I won't do in future. To negate in future, you use lan. Even again, it has its own usage. Okay? In some circumstances, use that. And kai is like an. And kai is like an. This is kai al-masdariyah also. Anyhow, these four letters create impacts on fi'l al-mudari'. That's what we are going to see now. That is our subject in as-sarf. About its usage and about its meaning, that is subject of what? An-nahu. Yaf'ala, an, yaf'a. Actually it is there, noon is there, isn't it? An yaf'ala. When you give nasab, this noon will go off. This is the reason why we learned al-af'al al-khamsa. These af'al al-khamsa will lose their noon when they come after nawasib or they come after jawazim. Whenever some nasab or jazm comes, these five fails will lose their noon. Because of that reason, we created separate category. So yaf'alan is one of the al-af'al al-khamsa. So it will lose its noon. An yaf'ala, an yaf'ala. An yaf'alu. Again, this alif should come. An taf'ala. An taf'ala. An يفعلن. مخاطب أن تفعل. أن تفعل. أن تفعل. And then an. So this an gives nasab. You remove an and put lan, same thing will happen. You put idan, the same thing will happen. You put kay, the same thing will happen. These four give nasab. When al-fi'l al-mudari takes this nasab, this thing happens. And remember, al-fi'l al-madi won't take nawasib. Because al-fi'l al-madi is what? Mabni. It won't take anything. It won't get changed because of anything. Al-fi'l al-madi and fi'l al-amr both are mabni. They won't take anything. Whatever comes before that, they won't get changed because of that. They will remain as they are. Only thing will change, will take changes is al-fi'l al-mudari. So one of those changes, what they take is this one, al-nawasib. You write it down. أن يفعل أن يفعل أن يفعلوا أن تفعل أن تفعل أن يفعلن أن تفعل أن تفعل أن تفعلوا أن تفعلي أن تفعل أن تفعلن أن أفعل أن نفعل. Usage of an, usage of lan, usage of idan, usage of kai. Please go back to Nahu books and try to solve some exercises, inshallah. Right now in ilm sarf, we don't deal with these things, meaning and all, okay? Yes. Yeah. Because you can't delete that noon. That noon is fa'il, I have told you. In other case, they say noon niswa. That noon is called as noon niswa. Noon niswa never falls. In whatever the case may be. Nasab, jazm, whatever the case, it won't lose its position. Farish Dihan. Can you put yadrib in place of yaf'al? Ayn, an, yadriba. Ra will take kasra. يضربا يضربوا أن تضرب تضرب ربنا أن تضرب بو yes أن أضرب أن نضرب. Ashraf, can you put يكتب? أن أكتب نن أن نكتب أن نكتب because an gives nasab. Now an, lan, idan, kai, these are nawasib. Okay, let's go to another one. Now we have another sister of nawasib or group of sisters. Those are called al-jawazim. Al-jawazim. They are Al-jawazims are 5. In, lam, lamma, lam al-amr, lam al-nahi. In, lam, lamma, lam al-amr, lam al-nahi. If you put, first you note it down. In, lam, lamma, lam al-amr, lam al-nahi. Again, each one of these huruf are having their meanings and their usages. When you should use in, when you should use lam, these are related with nahu. Usage of these hurufs with their meanings are subject of nahu. Here we will see what are the changes they will create on fi'l. That is our subject. Okay. Now you have in, lam, lamma, lam al-amr, lam al-nahi, totally 5 hurufs you have. If you introduce this huruf or fi'l al-mudari', then what happens? Let's see it. Let me change this in into in. Are you people with me? Following me? In. If you make an into in, because an is nasab, in is jazim. So this in will give jazm. Alamatul jazm is sukun. So see here what happens. Yaf'alu will become yaf'al. Again here it will lose noon. In yaf'al, in yaf'ala, in yaf'alu, in taf'al, in taf'ala, in yaf'alna. Again, in taf'al, in taf'ala, in taf'alu, in taf'ali, in taf'ala, in taf'alna. In af'al, in naf'al. Jazm gives sukoon at the end. Al-af'alul khamsa, again, it will lose its noons. So whether it is nawasib or jawazim, al-af'alul khamsa will lose its noons. So they react differently. That is the reason why we made them as a group and we gave the name. Al-af'alul khamsa. Al-af'alul khamsa. Note it down, this one. Meaning of in is to put condition. They say in ash-shartiyya. Lam is again used for negation in madi. This will come on fi'l al-mudari', but it will convert fi'l al-mudari' to fi'l al-madi. This lam will take fi'l al-mudari' to fi'l al-madi and it will negate in madi. Lamma is again negation for present tense. Lam al-amr used to give orders. Lam al-nahi used to prohibit, used for stopping. La taf'al, don't do. La taktub, la tadrib, la tansur, like this. La taftah. Done? So now what we have seen? We learned fi'l amr, and then we learned what is an-nawasib, and we learned what is jawazim. Okay? As al-fi'l al-mudari' mu'arab, it takes i'rab. So it will take nasb and it will take jazm. You have to note this. What is that? Al-ism will take only 3 kind of i'rab. Ism will take rafa, nasb and jar. Ism won't take jazm. Ism won't take jazm. Jazm won't come ism. And same goes with al-fi'l. Fi'l will take al-rafa' wal-nasb and it will take jazm. Al-fi'l won't take jar. Fi'l won't take jar. Keep this in mind. So, al-jazm is specially exclusively for fi'l and al-jar is exclusive for al-ism. Because of that reason, we have told that among us the indicators of ism is what? Jar. Now. So now we are done with al-jawazim. Now, let's go to very, very important topic where usually you see people struggle. We will learn some basic rules to come out from the struggle, inshallah. الفعل ينقسم إلى الفعل الصحيح and الفعل الصحيح الفعل المعتل. Say it. معتل معتل الفعل المعتل. Okay. الفعل المعتل meaning if any fi'l which contains one of the hurufs of huruf al-illah, then it becomes al-fi'l al-mu'tal. What are the huruf al-illah? Huruf al-illah are alif, waw, ya. These hurufs look very simple, very kind, very nice, but they are not like that. See what they will do now. They will change the whole scenario. They will play like anything. Okay. Here you have to keep in your mind. This alif is the weakest huruf. Among these three, which is the weakest one? Alif. And the strongest one is waw. Or some says here. Anyhow. Why we say alif is weakest? Because it won't take any harkat. It comes with sukoon by default. If you see this alif, consider there is sukoon over it. Even they don't write it. It will come because it has no power to tolerate any kind of harakat except sukoon. Whereas waw, yeah, they will take all harakah. They will take fatha, dhamma, kasrah and sukoon. They can tolerate. But in some cases they won't. That we will see later, inshallah. So any fi'l which contains one of these hurufs or two of these hurufs is called as al-fi'lu al-mu'tal. If fi'l does not contain any huruf al-illah is called as al-fi'lu as-sahihu. Example for this is jalasa. Any huruf al-illah is here? No. الفعل المعتل قال. Where is حرف العلة? In عين كلمة. حرف العلة here is in عين كلمة. وصل. Where is حرف العلة? فا كلمة. جرى. Where is حرف العلة? لام الكلمة. Each one of these varieties has their own name. If حرف العلة is in fa kalima, like wasala, it can take ya also, like yabisa. But it won't take alif. Why? We can't have any fi'l starting with sukoon. So it won't take alif. You have wasala, you have ya'i, ya bisa, ya is there. So harf al-illa in which place? Fa kalima. This name is al-misalu. What they say? Al-fi'lu al-misalu. Al-fi'lu. This misal is not example. This misal does not mean an example. This is al-fi'lu al-misalu. They say like this. If harf al-illa is in fa kalima, that fi'l's name is al-fi'lu al-misalu. Example is wasala, yabisa. You have too many examples. If harf al-illa is in ayn kalima, that is They say al-fi'lu al-ajwafu. Al-fi'lu al-ajwafu. See here. Qala. Ain kalima. Sometimes it will take waw. Sometimes it will take ya. But that waw and that ya will be converted to alif because of some reasons that we will learn later. Okay? Anyhow, if you see harful illah in ain kalima, then that means al-ajwaf. Jawf meaning stomach. Ajwaf meaning a person who is having stomach. So harful illah is in stomach. Ain. Center part. That's the reason they say al-ajwaf. If harful illah is in lamul kalima, they say an-naqis. An-naqis. So how many varieties now? Al-fi'l al-mu'tal is having how many varieties? Al-mithal, al-ajwaf, an-naqis. If harful illah is in fa kalima, then it is al-mithal. If it is in ain kalima, then al-ajwaf. If it is in lam kalima, then it is. You have another scenario. You can have harful illah in fa and lam. You can have harful illah in ain and lam. Two harful illah. For example, wa, qi, ya. What is harful illah? Then it is mithal. You have harful illah in lam. Then it is naqis. So this fi'l, at a time, this is mithal as well as naqis. So instead of saying al-mithal and naqis, they say al-lafif. They say lafif meaning something folded. Okay. So they say al-lafif. But this, you have in fa kalima, harful illah, you have harful illah in lam kalima. So this, as if you are separating both harful illah by having harf sahih in between. So this, for this reason they say al-lafif al-mafruq. Mafruq meaning separated. Al-lafif al-mafruq meaning you have harful illah in fa as well as you have in lam. If you have harful illah like this, where is harful illah now? Ain kalima as well as lam kalima. So you have two harful illah and both are back to back. Both are near, not separated. They say al-lafif al-maqroon. Maqroon means connected. If I say al-fi'l al-lafif, meaning it can be mafruq, it can be maqroon. Mafruq, two harf illah, in between you have harf sahih. What do you mean harf sahih? Apart from these three is harf sahih. Apart from these huruf, whatever harf you have in Arabic language are harf sahih. Okay. So you have harful illah here in fa and you have in lam. So in between you have harf sahih. This is called lafif al-mafruq, meaning mafruq, separated. You have harful illah in ain kalima, you have harful illah in lam kalima. So both harful illah are connected. Those they say al-lafif al-maqroon. Now we will have question. Can we have harful illah in all the... You can't have that. You can't have that. So these are possible varieties which are in usage. Possible varieties which are in usage. Or how many of them? 5. Or you can say 4. Al-mithal, al-ajwaf, al-naqis, and lafif. So when you say lafif, it takes both. You want to be more peculiar, you say al-lafif al-mafruq, al-lafif al-maqrun. So you have 5 varieties of fi'l. So these varieties depending on what? Huruf al-illah. Depending on huruf al-illah. So what about fi'l sahih? How many varieties we have? Al-fi'l sahih, 3 varieties. First one, al-mahmuz. Say it. Al-mahmuz. 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 What's the meaning of mahmuz? A fi'l which has hamza. A fi'l which has hamza. Whether it is in fa or ayn or lam. Then this is called al-fi'lul mahmuz. This category is very important in very some rare cases. Okay. Else it will react like a fi'l sahih. So first variety is al-mahmuz in fi'l sahih. Here some of them they go more deep. They say mahmuzul fa, mahmuzul ayn, mahmuzul lam. If hamza is in fa, they say mahmuzul fa. If hamza is in ayn, they say mahmuzul ayn. If hamza is lam, they say mahmuzul lam. For example, qara'a, this fi'l, whether it is mahmuz or what? Qara'a. Where is hamza? No, they say mahmuzul lam. Sa'ala. Where is hamza now? Ayn. Mahmuzul ayn. And you have akala. One of the most beloved fi'l. Akala. So where is hamza? Faul kalima. So these are varieties of mahmuz. These are varieties of mahmuz. So first one is mahmuz, and the second one al-mudha'af. Say it. Al-mudha'afu. 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 Don't say mudhaf. Mudhaf is different. This is al-mudha'ay. You have al-mudha'afu. Al-mudha'afu. Dha'afa yudha'ifu tad'ifan, meaning doubling. If you do something double, they say double. Tad'if. Mudha'afa. Ad'afan mudha'afa in Qur'an. Double reward you will get. So dhi'fain is in Qur'an. Dhi'f al-mamati, dhi'f. Double lives. So for double they say dhi'f, tad'if, mudha'af. So what is double? Ayn kalima, lam kalima will be of same category. Like marra. What is fa kalima? Ayn kalima, lam kalima, ayn ra, both of same category. So instead of writing marara, they said no. Why do we waste our time? They said we will write once and we will pronounce double time. They put tashdid here. Marra. You have farra. Marra, yamurru, farra, yafirru, massa, yamassu. So this is al-mudha'af. And the third category here is al-fi'l as-salim. Al-fi'l, what's the meaning of salim? If fi'l which is not mahmuz and which is not mudha'af, then it is salim. Jalasa, what is that? Salim. Daraba, salim. Qatala, salim. Okay? So if al-fi'lu sahih is not mahmuz and nor it is mudaf, then it is salim. So how many varieties at Dayan, Abdul Dayan? 5 plus 65, 75. Now how many? 5 plus 3. So you have 8 varieties. Yeah, Lafif, if you say Lafif, if you consider Lafif as 1, then it's 4. 4 plus 3, 7. Write it down. Now, you have to keep in your mind, all these fi'l are abide to those 6 abwab. What are the 6 abwab? Fa'ala yaf'alu, fa'ala yaf'alu. All those 6 babs will come here. You have to keep in your mind. But some cases it won't come. That we will see. We will learn each one categories one by one, inshallah. To make the thing very simple, to memorize this variety is very simple. There is one Farsi couplet. You memorize that, you can memorize all the varieties. What are those? What is that couplet? Sahih ast, misal ast, mudha'af. Lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwaf. So you have all varieties there. Sahih ast. What's the meaning of ast? Ast in Farsi is like saying is in English. Okay. What we say in Urdu, hai. Sahih ast, misal ast, mudha'af. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sabat anwa'. All of you say with me. Sahih ast. Loudly. Sahih ast. Misal ast. Mudha'af. Sahih ast. Misal ast. Mudha'af. Sahih ast. Misal ast. Mudha'af. Lafifo. Naqiso. Mahmuzo. Ajwaf. So this is a kind of Farsi construction. Usually in Arabic you say lafif wo. Lafif wa in Arabic. But in Farsi it's like this. Lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwaf. Say it. Lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwaf. Sahih as, misal as, mudha'af. Lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwaf. Sahih as, misal as, mudha'af. Lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwaf. Who memorized it? That's it. Now you memorize all 7 categories. So when you said lafif, it takes 2 varieties. Lafif mafruq, lafif maqrun. And naqis is there, mahmuz, ajwaf. So all varieties what you learned here is there in 2 couplets. So it's the benefit of memorizing that. You memorize that, the whole 7 varieties are in your mind. So these classifications, these varieties, depending on what? Depends on what? This classification depends on what? Huruf al-illah. Whether there is huruf al-illah or not. If it is there, what are the varieties? If it is not, then what are the varieties? Why do you learn huruf al-illah? That's very important. That will create huge things. Okay. See, some fi'l will be mu'tal. But it will be mudha'af. A fi'l is mu'tal, but is part of mudha'af. Can you remember any fi'l? Any fi'l which is mu'tal, okay? And it is also mudha'af. Like you have hayya. This is lafif maqroon, correct? 2 yas. And is mudha'af. Correct? Hayya, mudhari is yahya. Hayya, yahya. You have another fi'l also. Ayya. أفعينا في القرآن. أفعينا بالخلق الأول. أفعينا بالخلق الأول. عيا يعيا مضاعف معتل لفيف مقرون. ريحان got it? समझ में आनी है? عيا. What is عين كلمة? يا حرف العلة. If عين كلمة is حرف العلة, then what's the meaning? What's the name of that fi'l? أجوف. لام الكلمة is again حرف العلة. So if you have حرف العلة in عين and lam, then it is لفيف مقرون. So if عين and lam are of same category, then that is. So this fi'l is lafif as well as mudha'af. There is a very beautiful book, okay, each and everybody should have with you. That book name is العرف في فن الصرف. العرف في فن الصرف للحملاوي. This book is very important if you want to master ilm al-sarf. للحملاوي. العرف في فن الصرف. In experts of grammar, we have two varieties. One is nahwiyun, other is sarfiyun. We have too many nahwiyun, but very less number of sarfiyun. Very less people who are, you can say, expert of sarf. What you see is from sarf is like the leather you see over milk. Over milk you see leather, no? That's what we are learning. We have very deep, so many things are there in sarf. Okay. One of the imams of sarf is Ibn Ya'ish al-Mazini. A book written in sarf or in 4 volumes. Talks about only sarf. It is in 4 volumes. Written by Ibn Ya'ish. Anyhow. So this is thing you remember. Okay. Sahih as, mithal as, mudha'af, lafifo, naqiso, mahmuzo, ajwab. Inshallah, we will see. We will take each and every variety and we will learn what happens to them. Okay? Now we are done with Salim. Excuse me, all of you. We are done with Salim. We took Salim, we made Madi, we made Mudari, and we made Fi'l Amr, and then we inserted Jazim, and then we inserted O, Nasib. So we are done with varieties of Salim we have seen. Now remaining is what? Remaining Mahmuz, Mudaf, and all those things. So next class we will see these two. What happens to them if you make Madi? What happens to them if you make Mudari? Most of the books, what you will read, they will only touch, they will say, Mudaf will look like this. But they don't teach you what happens to them if you make conjugations of Amr with Mudaf. Conjugation of Fi'l Mudari with Mudaf. Mahmuz, what are the changes are there? What are there in usage? Okay, that we will see next class, inshallah. If you have any doubt, you can ask. With this, we conclude our class. Salam. Yes. Hayya ala salah. Yeah, that is hayya, but that is called fi'lul ismul fi'l. That hayya is called as ismul fi'l. Bima'ana aqbil, come, ta'al. Hayya ala salah, come to the prayer. That hayya is same of this category only. But that is called as ismul fi'l. We have something called as ismul fi'l. We have ism, we have fi'l, we have harf, and we have other category, combined ism and fi'l. That is called ismul fi'l. It will look like ism, but work like fi'l. That is called ismul fi'l. So hayya is ismul fi'l. You can't conjugate it. The hayya is in adhan, it's ismul fi'l. You can't conjugate it. What's the meaning conjugate? Hayya, hayya, hayyu, yahya. You can't conjugate. It will look like that. It won't get changed. That's why they say ismul fi'l. If it is normal fi'l, you can conjugate. You can extract madi, mudari, amr, nasib, jazim, everything you can do. If it is normal fi'l. If any fi'l which is not reacting very normally, then they say ismul fi'l. So hayya is ismul fi'l, meaning aqbil, ta'al, come. Hayya ala salah, come to prayer. Hayya ala falah, come to the victory and falah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.